Hi everyone, welcome to FlossTube 35. It is August 19th, 2024. I'm Karen Combs, and this episode, or this video, is about stitching, cross stitching. We're going to have a little surprise about quilts toward the end, but primarily this will be about stitching. And it's been about just over 3 weeks since I did the last FlossTube. I tried to get one in the end of last week, just could not do it. It's been busy, just busy. I'm sure you all have the same situation, just busy. And if I look tired, I am. So it's just been busy. But I have so much to show you. I spent a little bit of Saturday and yesterday and even this morning kind of gathering things around me, getting them ready to show you. So let's get right into it. One of the things, and this is getting into it, believe it or not, I started to grab this stuff. One of the things I've been busy with is going through boxes of my parents' items. Both of them have gone a long time, and my brother and I divided up a lot of things to go through, and of course with just life, work, he's gone through some. I haven't been able to go through anything, and so I started going through their things, photos. I took all the photos so I could go through them, and I just sent him a box of photos that related to his family and him. But the reason I bring this up, and you're probably thinking, what is she talking about? When you remember, I showed Live on Little, and I said it reminded me of the time when I would be at my parents'. They had a house on Grand Traverse Bay up in Traverse City, Michigan. Well, I found some photos. And it was just a little house. It's still a little house. A lot of those lots have been, the houses have been torn down and big houses built on them, but their house has not yet. The person that purchased it has kept it as is, so if we drive by it, we can still see it. And from their deck, just their backyard, and I want to show you why some of the things that I've been stitching mean so much after finding these pictures, and I'm so glad I found them. This is sailboat races from their back deck. That was probably in the mid-80s. Here's a misty morning, and take a look what's in the bay there. Tall ship. And this one. Take a look at that. There is a tall ship that leaves from just outside Traverse City that you can take and sail. We've done that a couple times. It's quite fun. But seeing those pictures, now you'll know why Live on Little, if I can get where you can see it, Live on Little struck a chord with me. It's so big I can't see if you're seeing it. Yeah, you can see it. It struck a chord with me seeing those pictures. Now you know why. And now I know why, and perhaps you'll understand too why Shores of Hawk Run Hollow also means a lot. And I guess I didn't even put those together, even though I remember those scenes of, you know, the tall ship in the bay. But this means a lot stitching it. And so I wanted to share that with you. We've talked in the past about why we stitch things, and sometimes it's we want that particular item to hang in our home or perhaps decorate our home. Sometimes it's because it has something that draws us in or we connect with, and I think Shores connects to me to remembering those times. And I found a couple of my mother's paintings, and we have some hanging in the house. This one must not be finished because she didn't sign it, but it sure looks close to being finished. And then I'll hold up Shores, because take a look how much this looks like Shores. I think this is 8 by 10, so I'll get a frame for this. It actually teared me up when I found that, going through these boxes that have literally been at my house for almost 20 years, and I just have not, you know, I've lifted a lid, looked at it, I can't get into this right now. And I found one other little painting. This must have been in something. It's a 5x7, and she did this in 1997. So I'll get this in a frame. She did sign that one. But keeping in mind this, now you're going to know, or at least I maybe seeing that, you're going, oh yeah, I see the connection. It took me aback. Oh, did I throw that on the floor? Oh, all right, I'm gonna see if I can get it. Hold, please. I'm gonna have to get down on the floor. There we go, I dropped it. I thought I had finished this. I haven't. Take a look at this block. Look how much that looks like the painting. And this looks like the tall ship. So when I saw the painting, I thought, there it is. That's another connection. So you saw this last time, but this is what I've gotten done. I haven't worked on this since the last floss tube, but this is what I've gotten done on shores. So I hope you enjoyed seeing that little look, because it struck me that there may even be connections that we don't remember. Maybe our subconscious remembers, but we don't. So I have, switching gears now, I have two finishes. This is from Teresa Kogut's Broad Stripes and Bright Stars, Old Glory. And I put this in a frame that Hobby Lobby had. It was just one of their on-the-counter frames, and I like how that frames it. So that one is all done. And this one, Flag Flock. I might have shown this to you maybe 2 times ago, but I did get this framed. And this is the very first thing I stitched about 2.5 years ago when I returned to stitching, cross-stitching, after almost 30, 40 years. I had done some embroidery and blackwork in that time, but this is the first time I had returned to cross-stitch. So this is the first thing. So the very first sheep is a little wonky because it was the first time stitching on linen, but I decided to leave it because it's part of my journey returning back to stitching after many years, and I'm just so happy to be stitching. So here's Flag Flock. So pick those up, and with getting those two fully finished, that means I have everything that I've stitched and finished fully finished, which is my goal, to try to keep up with that. So what I want to show you today is what I've been stitching on. I have a tiny bit of haul. I'm trying to read without my glasses. My notes over here. And then plans for Sampler September coming up. And I have a surprise at the end. So be sure to stay for that. So when I finished the last floss tube, I immediately, and actually before I do that, now I'm going to show you what I've been working on, then I'll pop back to, I had a couple comments on last video. I'm just trying to read my notes, which there's stuff piled in front of it. So when I finished the last floss tube and got everything cleaned up, I thought I am going to return to Loara Standish, and I might have even told you I was going to do that. Here it is, and I bought this bought this kit last year, and I did decide to change the linen, and I ended up also changing the silk and getting the Vickki Clayton silk pack, which is going to be slightly different, a little bit brighter colors, so it's going to be a little different. The navy, the brown, some of the gold is the same, but some of the very faded, let me just show you. I'm using some brighter colors. So it's not an exact reproduction, it's an interpretation. I think I have that right. So here it is, those are the colors. And I worked on this about a week and a half and got quite far. I finished, I think, 3 bands and into band 8. It's a big one. I mean, it's long. But here it is. Let me hold it up. So I'm working on band 8 right now. Let me get it straight. I just took it off the hoop. That's why you see a little hoop mark. And sorry for the thread, but it's got a job to do, so I didn't want to pull it out. Let me see if I can get a little closer. There it is. And someone asked about my Tombstone Angel. I got that at Mad for Minders. I don't know if they have any more, but I do love it. There we go. I'm trying to hold it. So that is Loara Standish. Worked on her, I said, about a week and a half, I think. Really enjoyed working on her. Let me pull out. Got way too much. I was trying to get it so I wouldn't have to stop and get my second and third pile. I don't know if this is better or not. I'm going to look up. I can't remember what she is on. 40 count R&R Vanilla Bean is what she's on, using the Vickki Clayton silk pack. So one more time. So that's R&R Vanilla Bean. There we go. And let me pull up. Here's the top part, so you can see I'm right down in here, and the colors I am using are brighter. There are many people that are doing the exact representation. I decided to do a little adaptation. So that's toward the bottom. So there it is, and I'll just keep pulling her out every once in a while and working on her. I'm not throwing her on the floor. And just slide it there out of the way. That made a little bit of room. Then I had a new start. Let me see if this is it. Yes. It's like, I didn't intend on doing a new start, but I did. And I was gone part of, it might even be 2 weeks ago. Anyway, I started it right before I left and then picked it up when I got back. But I decided I just had to start this. And it is by Plum Street. There is Liberty. And I am using the called for flosses. There they are. Let me just wind them up so you can see the colors. Very pretty. And I had a question yesterday. What do I do with, say, when I'm putting my floss on the floss drops and I have some left? If it's DMC and it's close to a full skein, I put it in a floss away bag, just right on the floss drop. Of course, the hand dyed, I just leave on their little card. But if there's not much left of the DMC, I just pitch it. So I keep the numbers in there. So I just put that in a floss away bag. You know, most of the time there's not much left, so it's not a problem. So let me show you. I started in the upper left corner. And this, and I was trying to find the bag and I can't. This was on, I had a bigger piece of linen that I already had something in the works on, and I measured it and I thought, I can get There is Liberty on this. And could I find that bag so I could find the linen? No, I think it's 40 count R&R. Oh, I can't remember the name. Espresso maybe? I think it's Espresso, but I loved the modeling on it. So here it is. I got some of the words done, got a little bit of the village done. Basically got the first page done and started on the letters. So that's the piece of linen. It's not real big. Well, I say that, but I'm used to working on really big stuff. So maybe I'll say this and you'll go, oh, it's big. I guess comparative to what I have been working on, it is 232 by 87. And the called for is 40 count Hemingway by Needle and Flax, which I did not have, but I thought that the R&R that I had would work really well. You can see it's really close to the photo. So that's what I'm using, and it's a combination of DMC and a few hand dyes, so I'm using the called for. You can see I've got that little bit done. I just love this little village. It's so cute. Hold it up one more time. So I worked a few days on that. Just so cute. And then the other thing I worked on, and I was gone, like I said, at least 4 days since I've talked to you, and I was a poll watcher at our primary election, which also entailed a couple of days of training, or a couple of days before we had training. So that took 2 or 3 days out of the schedule. Those were long days, 14 hours. We got there at 6 in the morning and did not leave till after 8. So they asked me if I'd come back for the general election. I probably will, but I'm gonna need more coffee to do that. I had some, not enough. So the other thing that I worked on, and I'm going to work on this until it's done because I'm not very far from being done. This is Sarah Milthrop, 1834. Now I got Sarah when I was at Sampler Symposium. Let me go up. It is gorgeous. It was one of our kits at Sampler Symposium in 2023. And I changed the linen. I am using 46 count Thornfield. And I am using the 103s that it called for. This is actually a drawer of a little cabinet you've seen. I just keep the silks for this particular project. It just fits perfect in this little antique drawer. So here it is, and all I have left to do is one line of verse. It's over 1, a big motif, which is going to probably take 3 or 4 or 5 days, a little motif, which shouldn't take long, and a little bit in the cartouche, and some little fleur-de-lis. I don't know if they're fleur-de-lis. Anyway, little doodads, fleur-de-lis in the border. Oh, here she is. Ah, this is one of the prettiest samplers. Let me go up so you can see. Those motifs at the top are gorgeous. So you've got the motifs, you've got the over 1 verse, you've got a line of motifs, you've got the big planter, which I've got to do the other one, and the gorgeous house, and I've got to work on that cartouche in there and the border. So I'm hoping I can get it done in the next week. I just love this. And I worked on her quite a bit and then just put her away for a while, and I don't know why, but I just thought, I'm gonna pull Sarah back out. So I've been working on her for a couple of days, and I thought, work on this till I'm done. So that's what I've been working on. Now, before I forget, we talked last time about counting pins, and I just wanted to mention, you know, counting pins. And I showed this last time that I have just some orts in there, and then I put my used and broken and bent needles in there. But the counting pins, Nicola mentioned this yesterday, and I thought, I do that, I didn't think to mention it. She uses a counting pin to unstitch. Now, a lot of times I will use this, and you've seen this before. This is Stitcher's Best Friend, and I got this at the Fat Quarter Shop. But you know, you can use one of your counting pins. So that's another use for them. So I wanted to mention that because Mary had asked about that. So I talked about it last time, and then I forgot to mention using it to unstitch, and then Nicola mentioned it yesterday in her floss tube, and I thought, oh, I'm going to mention that. So I'm just going to make a note that I talked about that. Now, talking about floss tubes, I want to thank Brenda and Loara. They gave me a beautiful shout out their last video. Thank you. They are special. I've said it before, watching them when I first returned to stitching was like taking a master class in current cross-stitch designers, supplies, retreats. I watched all of their episodes. Several I watched twice, just with a notebook, keeping notes, because it was all new to me. And I think so much of them, they have been so supportive to me with my floss tube. They're wonderful. I've enjoyed chatting with them in person when we've run upon each other at retreats. Thank you for the shout out. You make the world a very special place. Not to get emotional. Why am I so emotional today? And so let me talk about haul, because I am going to talk about a floss tube, which you may have already heard about, but I wanted to mention that, but it's going to kind of go in with what I'm going to be showing for Sampler September. Remember I told you I wasn't going to purchase much, and I've pretty much kept with that because I'm going to Hobby House to the Great British Sampler retreat in October. So I'm trying to save some money for that. And you remember I showed you the antique French linen that I found. Well, I went to up to Stitcher's Garden that's in Brentwood. It used to be in Franklin, Tennessee. Now it's in Brentwood. And I found this fabric, I think it's French General, for the back. So I'm going to make this into a pillow. Haven't done it yet, but I did find this fabric, which I thought, let me see if you can see that. I thought the colors just looked good with it. So I bought a couple yards, actually. I think it was on sale. I bought a couple yards so I'd have it if I want to do some other pillows where it matches. And I had several people comment because I was thinking about what other little pillows I could do to put with this. And several people mentioned JBW Designs. Excellent suggestion. I think those of you that mentioned that, spot on. Those, some of those motifs in some of the designs would be perfect for that. I don't have any of her designs, so I'll be looking for some of those. But I also think, I know last time I talked about, you know, switching linen, what I was gonna do, and I was looking at Rose and the Giant Pear, and I really like the idea of maybe taking the rose off there and doing a little pillow, or maybe the pear. Is that a bee? I think there's a bee on there. Is it a headless bee? Let's see what you think. Right there. I thought even the house. I think the design as it stands is too big for a pillow. I think we talked about that last time. Well, it's 7 by 3 approximately. Anyway, I think I'm going to take maybe one of the motifs and put it with it and some other things. So thank you for the suggestions of JBW. Really excellent suggestion. All right, this I could set down there. The other haul that I only purchased one thing. I had a couple things come in that I had ordered several months ago and already paid for, so I'm not counting that. I only ordered one thing that was a new purchase. And Kohana was having their lucky bag sale, which I set my alarm on my calendar and I was able to get one. And it came with the little, I think it came in blue or yellow, and I was able to get the blue ocean. Came with this little waxed canvas bag. If Here are the scissors, that beautiful kind of sea blue. I have a few pair of Kohana. I don't have an extensive collection, so this is kind of fun to get that. It also came with, and several people have showed this already, so I don't think I'm spoiling anything, and mine was delayed. Everyone was putting them on Instagram, they got them, and I've waiting, and it got to be like almost a week, and I thought, well, where is it? And I contacted them, and they got back to me right away, and something happened. It was all packed, but it hadn't been shipped. So anyway, I was delayed in getting it. So hopefully I'm not spoiling anything for you. This little weighted paper weight, it has such a nice weight to it. And then some of the glass head pins. And then this is a little notebook with craft paper. And all of the items are that beautiful blue. And of course, Kohana, so beautifully packaged. So a little notebook with graph paper. So everything all fits. Let me just put it in and show you, all fits in the little bag. So I did purchase that. That was one purchase that I hadn't intended on purchasing. But I guess they do that every summer, and I didn't get it last year, so I decided to do it this year. Then I had two things that I ordered back in June that there was a delay for one of the items, and I said just hold everything till it all comes in. And this is I ordered it from Country Stitches, and they contacted me right away and said it'll be a little bit delayed. Do you want to wait and send it all together? And I said, yes, just do that. And then I called them back about a week later. And they said, we're still waiting, but it'll be here soon. I said, it's no problem. I'm calling to tell you to just kit it. That way I have it. So they kitted it. And of course, their kits are done up so beautifully. This is by Milk Thread Designs Liberty Feather Tree. I just thought this was so unique and so different. And there's, just love how they package. There's the, I think it's Vintage Country Mocha, and I haven't opened it yet, but I think it's looks to me to be hand dyed. So that came in, and the other thing that I ordered from them is Summer at Holly Berry Farm Sampler by Stacy Nash. I know I've seen several people working on this. And I did have them kitted. They did 36 count Winter Brew by R&R, and it looks to be hand dyed. Oh, those colors are pretty. Let me show you. It's sampler threads, Gentle Arts. So I believe that they use the called for on that, but I thought that way it's all done instead of me getting it, then having to find all the other parts. And they will be happy to do that for you. So, and everything came in. It was beautifully packaged. I love ordering from them. All right, what else? Something else that I ordered back in June, and it was with the Facebook group, Homespun Facebook group. They have exclusives. And I'm reaching this. Oh, let me just put it over here. I wasn't going to order this. And my friend Cindy texted several of us and said, who got it? Well, we were all resisting. And I said, it's so pretty, but I'm not going to get it. No, not going to get it. Not going to get it. I got it. The reason I did is I started seeing people working on it, and I thought, that is so pretty. So I went ahead and ordered by the Scarlet House, Sarah A. Sanderson, 1872. I just love it. And it's came kitted. I'm not sure if it will be released later, perhaps, but I don't know for sure. It came with Needle and Flax Valley Forge, 40 count. beautiful. I love this linen. I have to get some more of it. And here's the hand-dyed. Colors are so pretty. And if any of you like Hocus Pocus, of course, Sarah Sanderson. I actually have a picture of the house. The house that the family lived in. It's outside Salem. I can't remember. Anyway, my husband and I were visiting there, and we were going around some local places, and I thought that the movie was filmed there, and we found the house, and I have a picture of it. And I'll have to show you that when we get closer to Halloween. But here are the colors. Here's the chart. So that one I had to wait for a little while because I got in at the end of ordering, and some of the things were being redone and reordered, so took a little while, but that's all right. It also came with this needle box. That's with one of the motifs, and it's magnetized. It's got a spot for your needles. So I like that. I think I'll be using that quite a bit. And it did come with the hand-dyed, but I decided to also order the Vickki Clayton silk pack. And I think I might do it in the silks. So anyway, I haven't decided yet, but that came in, actually the order from Country Sampler and this, and of course it came from, you recognize the wrapping paper, came from Colorado Cross Stitch. Love Sherry, love her shop as well. Her things always come so quickly. Now this didn't, only because they were waiting on some things to be redone, but whenever I've ordered from Sherry, it's come so quickly and beautifully packaged. All right, I'm going to show you this in a minute. The other thing, well, I did get this, and I think this is a new color, and I saw it somewhere on, it goes on Instagram. And then I was trying to find out if it was a new color, but I didn't have it, so I went ahead and ordered it. But I thought, this is a good red. This is Classic Color Works Caroling. It's just a good red. So I put that in my wish list on 123 Stitch to remind myself to order it. So when next time I placed an order, I got that, and that came in. So I wanted to show you that because that may be a new color for you, and it's a good red. The other thing that came in is the berry bag, Stitchfolk. This is her, I'm in her bag club, which I think we have one more installment of it, and I'm not sure what she's going to do for next year, but Berry is another one that whatever she does is so well done, so well presented, so creative, so beautiful. I wrote her after getting this, and I said, it's just such a treat to get these bags. So here it is. I know many of you have already seen it. It came with, this was in, also within the little box, so I put it on there. And it says, I love stitching this much, and the other little mouse says, me too, and the little mouse on the left says, oh, say. Look at the back, the fabric on the back, and oh, it's inside, look at this. Something special's got to go in that one. And it came with several little things, needle box, stitch posse, again, magnetized, and you can put your needle in there. I love that. I think that's going to stay out. And I know Laura, or Brenda showed this in a little pink egg crate, egg carton. Where does she source these things? She's amazing. Floss drops. There were many things. There were other things, little treats in the package. Sticker. Look at this. How these little antique buttons. Look at how creatively packaged. A cloth tape measure. And some lace. And I'm thinking this might go on those initials, and look at this fabric. I might end up using that with the pillow. And the other thing that she put in there are her favorite needles, which I'll tell you in a minute. I've been using these and how I started. But her favorite needles, and they've become mine as well, Colonial 28 Petite. And you can find these, I found some on Etsy. So I know Cecilia's in Branson had some. I'm sure that there are other shops that do. But I was introduced to these back in about February when Jackie of Comfort Stitching, and don't you love her floss tube? Just watch the latest one, Jackie. Well done, I loved it. She introduced me to these. She sent me a little something which was so sweet, and she included some of these needles. And I had not tried these before. They quickly became my favorite needle. So, and it sounds like they're berries as well. So I wanted to show you what came in that little package. All right, the basket I'm pulling out of is actually a gathering basket, and it's perfect for me stacking things up in to show you. So I'm just gonna put some of these things back in it so I can slide it out of the way. All right, so let me take a look here, and don't wanna miss anything. Showed you the whips. I showed you the haul. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is Sampler September. My chair is sliding. Sampler September. And I do have one other whip that's going to be included in the plans for Sampler September. Jean Lee is another one of those people that have just touched me, and I know she's touched many of you. And she's another one that when I watched her floss tube, when I first started stitching, and I'm saying there was almost 40 years that I didn't cross stitch. Started with Flag Flock, moved to Houses of Hawk Run, which I'm still working on. And after watching Jean's video, what did I do? Immediately ordered Harriet Salt on 56 count, because Jean said I could do it, and I have. So I'm working on that. But she's another one that just, I love when she talks about samplers. You can hear her passion for it, and she shares it with you, and she makes you feel like all things are possible. And they are. They really are. So I wanted to share some of Jean's favorite samplers. If you don't subscribe to the Attic newsletter, go to Attic Needlework webpage and you can sign up for the newsletter. And in the last newsletter, which you can click on, and I'll put the link to this in the description box, but she listed 37 of her favorite samplers, and she is offering a special through August and September. If you order, there's different levels of specials, discounts you can do depending on what you order, whether it's the chart and the linen, or the chart, the linen and the floss, or the chart and the floss. Anyway, there'll be all those details on the page. But I wanted to share with you some of the samplers that are her favorites, that when I went through my whips and also my stash, I have. And some of them I've started, and some I haven't. Where? Okay, hold please. So this one, I think I showed you the last time because I had just started it. This is one of the next few things I'm going to talk about are on Jean's favorite samplers, and I have some that I've written down I need to order. But this one is American Welcome by Plum Street. And again, looking at those pictures I just showed you, now you know why it appeals to me. But I'm doing this on 36 count Old Amana by Farm Girl Dry Goods, using the called for floss, which Jean, I think, has a beautiful silk packet you can get. So here are the colors. And I started on the bottom left because immediately I wanted to get into the house. I love the houses. Here's the linen, here's my start. So I think since you saw it last, I got the pelican up there, the flowers, working on the lighthouse. So that is one of Jean's favorite samplers, and she has gorgeous silk pack for that. Here's another one. I put all my patriotic in one bag, which I'm thinking I'm gonna rethink that because I'm starting to get lost where it is. This is Chessie and Me Across the Sea sampler, and you've seen me working on this recently. It does have some specialty stitches. Here are the colors, and Jean will have a beautiful silk pack for you, which she talks about in the newsletter. But here's mine, and I started this on Flag Day. And I know there's some hanging threads, but I'm in the middle of a stitch and didn't want to lose it. So got the top, I think, done, and working on the side. That verse is over 1 by the house, and I decided to do a full cross on that rather than continental or just one leg of the cross, which the full cross does make it stand out, which is what I wanted. So that's why I decided to do the full cross. I was gonna read you, I was gonna read you the verse. Yeah, not happening. But I love those flags. There is a little over 1 on here, the verse, I think the lady, I think the man at the bottom. And the specialty stitches, 4-sided stitch, rice stitch, Smyrna cross. So very doable. So that's another one of Jean's favorite samplers. So the next question is going to be, what am I going to do for Sampler September? But first I'm going to show you a couple of more of Jean's favorites. You've seen me work on this too, Dorcas Hayes. And I've got a bunch of different silks here that I've pulled. And let me show you. I think there's, did I pull the hanging thread to the back? No. You'll have to, let me at least wind it up. You'll have to forgive that, but I'm in the middle of satin stitch and didn't want to lose where I was at. No. Here's where I'm at with Dorcas. Another one of the most beautiful samplers. Love that. Let me show you the picture again. And if you look at the Addicts floss tube, might have been 1 or 2 times ago, I think they show a close-up of it. Oh, I forgot to grab, I just ordered the proper stitch book, and that's over there, so I'm not gonna be able to grab it. But that will discuss in detail a lot of the stitches used in Dorcas. And what I did is I took my book over to Office Max and had them put a comb binding on it, so when I open it up, it'll lay flat. And I think with tax, it was $4.82. So not very much to put a comb binding on it. I meant to grab that, but it's over there and I don't want to get up to get it. A couple more of Jean's favorite stitches, favorite samplers. Oh, this one by Erica Michaels, Constant Companion. And Jean does have a silk pack for that. Here are the colors. And the verse on this, let me see if I can read it, because there are 2 samplers in here. And the one that I'm going to stitch is the one on silk gauze, which I did buy some silk gauze. I'm still debating, am I going to do it on silk gauze or am I going to do it on say a 40 count. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I'm getting the things together. Is this it? Yes, here's the verse. No one can look upon the needle without emotion. It is a constant companion throughout the pilgrimage of life. And that certainly has been true for me. Hand stitching, quilting, piecing. The needle has been a part of my life for many decades. And every day I need to pick that needle up in some fashion, whether it's stitching, knitting, quilting, piecing, whatever it is, or the day does not feel complete for me. So I thought that was beautiful. And so this is one of Jean's favorite samplers. So the question that I have for myself, which let me show you a few more yet, what am I going to work on for Sampler September? Well, I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to show you. So it's like, well, then why did you say it for? I don't know. It's a hard decision. So I think I'm narrowing it down. But here's another one of Jean's favorites. This is Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird. And she has the most beautiful silk pack for that. This is the linen that I've picked, and I don't have a clue what it is. It's in the bag here. Can I see it? No, I have no clue. Wait, there's the tag. I was gonna say, I usually have it written down somewhere. Heartland. 40 count Heartland. And here are the colors. I am tempted to get the silk pack for that. Look at these colors. Oh, so pretty. So that one I've got all kitted, and I've been thinking about that for a while. So is that one I'm going to start? I'm not sure. Here's another one. I don't have any linen selected for this, but I keep looking at this. And Jean does have a silk pack for that. Here are the DMCs. It is Tapestry of Stitches by Jeanette Douglas. I love all those stitches down there. They remind me of a combination of embroidery, but really reminds me of needlepoint. And I did needlepoint for a long time. So Tapestry of Stitches. So I haven't got the linen for that yet out, but that is another one of Jean's favorites. I was surprised how many of Jean's favorites I have. These aren't started yet, but I do have some that I could start. Here's another one. My Lady's Needle, Emma Woods, 1759. I think I'm going to start this right away in September. I kitted this when I was at the attic last year. And Jean will have probably several options of silk for that. I know silk because I remember reading it. Now what I pulled, because I had this, was some 46 count Jersey Cream by Legacy. But listening to the attic's last FlossTube, Jean mentioned using 63 count. And that's what the original, here's the original. Let's see, hold on, let me pull it out. The original is not square, the original is rectangular. So I got some 5363. There's the original. And the original is at the attic. That's what drew me in. And that's why I kitted it while I was there. But here's the color of the 5363. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try stitching on it. Let me just see, here's the colors on it. I think those colors will look good on it. And I think the color is pretty close. It's a little bit more yellow than the cover, but it's probably very similar to what the original is now. So I'm going to try starting it, and if it doesn't work for me, then I will switch to the 46 count. But as I said, Jean always makes me feel like all things are possible. So I am going to try it. Let me put all this together because I think that's one for sure I am going to start in Sampler September. So let me show you a few of my samplers that I have in the works. And I was talking to my friend Cindy, and I asked her, I said, what are you going to do for Sampler September? And I know there's lots of options. Some people start so many, some people work just on what they have. Some people do a combination. Some people do reproduction only, which I think that's Sampler September soiree. Other people do more recent samplers. Some only work on things that already have in progress. It's whatever you want to do. So I'm debating, but I think I may. Anyway, going back, I asked Cindy what she was going to do, and I hope she doesn't mind, but I won't tell you all of her plans, but she's going to do a combination of some she has in the works and some she has started already. And I think I may use some variation of that. So I wanted to show you the ones that I have started. M Woods for sure, I'm going to start. For sure. I know that for sure. Once I have Sarah Melthrop done, I'm going to start on M Wood. Other than that, for starts, I don't know. I am going to work on things I have. And probably like I do now, I work on something until I feel the need to switch, unless I've committed to finishing it within a certain deadline. And that usually works pretty well for me anyway. We all have the ways we like to work, which makes it so interesting, I think. You've seen this one. I probably have 2/3 of it done, maybe just a little less, but it's Anton Uffendell, which is one of the most beautiful samplers. And here are the colors. I'm using, Vickki Clayton silk pack for that. Let me put that back together. I don't know if I've done any more since you last saw it, but I got the border, the bones of the border all done. The top, oh, I was working on the over one, right in there. Was working on that, and I've got to do some over one over here. I think I've got to finish a little bit of that basket. You back up. The border's done on the top, I think. I've started in the middle. This is a big sampler. And there's the bottom. So maybe 2/3 is generous. Maybe I'm about half done, but anyway, I've got a good portion of it. So I'm sure that will be in the rotation for Sampler September. Here's another one, and now I may be showing you some that are Jean's favorites. I think this next one is, and this is Marianne Kopp with Thy Needle and Thread. Marianne Kopp, 1839. Now here's what's funny, at least to me. Where are the threads? Hold on, here they are, way in the bottom. Here's the threads. They're kind of all messed up, and they did them a twist. Beautiful colors. So I've got the top almost done. So I was watching a new FlossTube, and I know many of you have probably already heard about it. Jamie, who is Professor Stitch, wonderful FlossTube. She showed Marianne Kopp. She has more done than I do. So I'm looking at it, and I don't know if she was just holding it up and hadn't said the name yet, but I thought, oh, I love that. Look at the house. And then I realized, you're working on that. You haven't got to the house yet. You haven't got to the berry basket yet. I've just done the top. So I was really happy that I was so excited about it because I'm working on it. So I've just got the top. So that may be another one. Maybe I'll come down with the bones of the border so I can get to the house. Or the berry basket. I also love doing berry baskets. So it's another one that's just very elegant. And what am I doing that on? Amarilla? No. I think it's Atomic Ranch. Using the cold 4 on that one. Pretty sure. Let me just look at my book here. Did I start that this year? Yes, Cold 4, hand-dyed DMC, 36 count by Under the Sea, Amaryllis. Oh, I thought that was the case, which has a little bit of a yellow tint to it, which I thought worked really well with the colors. I thought the colors really looked, and this has some yellow in it, but it still holds up. You can see I've done some of the yellow already, and it holds up really well. So that's another one that I think will be getting work done. It's been a while since I've shown this one. I'm not sure if I will work on this, but it's a possibility. This is by European Reproduction Samplers. This is Hannah Smith, 1802. And I know Jackie has talked about ordering from them. When you order, everything comes in this beautiful case, comes quickly, so beautifully packaged. So this is the original. I saw the original first. Then I searched to see if there was a pattern. And I loved how the original looked. The faded linen, the faded thread. So I decided to use Dirty Teacup. I think it's 36 count. And I'm using Pea Pod. And I can't remember the other one. It's in here somewhere. But this is what I've gotten done on her. It's just so pretty. I have not worked on Hannah for a while. So I might pull her out. There's just the 2 colors, mostly Pea Pod. Yeah, Classic Colorworks Pea Pod. All right, I'm not pulling them out of there. They're in just a bag. Why did I do that? I think Cappuccino's the color. I don't know. I haven't looked at this in a while. Why isn't it on a floss ring? Why isn't it a little nicer than that? I don't know. You know, I guess I'm already, you know, this is like a treasure hunt looking in this bag. I guess I've already finished with one. I was watching, there's another bag. What's this? I don't know. I think these are the colors I looked at and did not use. And some other time, I'll lay those out and we'll talk about why. But not today. I was just watching Periwinkle Stitcher. I think I have that correct. Another wonderful floss tube. I think this is her 4th one. Wonderful. And she has a idea, when she's done with a tag, she tapes it in her book of days. I thought that, good idea, very clever. So Hannah Smith is another one I'm looking at for Sampler September. I have to work on her. Look at the variation in that thread. I'm doing it like that because I want it to look like the original, which is a little more faded now. This one I haven't worked on in a while. I need to pull this one back out too. This might be one I work on. And why did I stop? I don't know. Squirrel, you know, and then you're off on another tangent. Hannah Campbell, 1838. And I started this a while ago, and I did not do anymore. The threads are over in that other cabinet, so I'm not going to pull that out. But I'm doing henna, let's see, on, I know I'm using 103 silks for henna. I'm using 46 count, just the ticket, and I'm using 103s. So here's where I'm at, and I know why I stopped. Is some of the silks were unavailable. I ordered it last summer. Some of the silks were delayed, and so I worked on it, and then I set it aside till I got everything together, and then I just didn't get back to it. So I need to do that. So here's what I've got done on henna. So it's pretty. This border's kind of fun. You just get 2 needles going with the 2 colors. Just now concerned if I have enough room this way. I looked at that the other day and I thought, did I measure right? But I think I did. I'll check it. Oh, the magnet just picked up the floss. Let me set Hannah Campbell down. And here's another one that I need to do. You've probably seen this. I haven't done much on it. I ordered this from the attic, and they put together a silk conversion for me. This is Sampler Roll by Samplers Remembered. And I am doing this on 40 count, Confederate Gray. And Jean put together a beautiful silk pack for me. And where is it? I don't know. Well, it's not there. It's somewhere. I have this, and I have, it's got to be over there somewhere. I don't know. I know I have it. So the reason it's in the middle here is this becomes like a pillow roll. So here's the little houses. And let me show you the cover again. I don't know where the silks are. Dinky dyes is what they are. I don't know. When I put everything up, I'll find it. All right, I'm gonna set that aside. I gotta find the silks on that. All right, are they in there? No, I'm not gonna show that. All right. Continue with a couple more samplers that I'm thinking about doing for Sampler September, and then talk about the quilt surprise. This is Cross Stitch Antiques, Emmeline Hotchkiss, 1846. And I just have a small start on this. I've started in the lower right corner. And I know Contented Needleworker Kim, and I think Audrey at Stitch Stitch Bead are also working on that. And what is that on? 40 count Furley by Needle and Flax. And here's the called for. It's got this really bright red, which is in the original. So I think Kim changed hers. I thought I'd just go ahead. Kind of like it. It's kind of funky. And I have an aunt, and going through some of my parents' genealogy papers, I mean my great aunt, Emmy, or Emmeline, I remember. Her name is Emmeline, but I'm finding in her family that was a common name. You know, like skipped every other generation. So that means I really need to do that in honor of those relatives, close relatives, and further back ancestors. A couple more samplers to show you that I started on. Wow, I got a lot. I know several people have asked me, how can you do so many? I don't know. I work on what I feel like working on. That's it. Probably because when I was quilting, designing quilts, writing books, traveling and teaching, all of that, I had to jump from one thing to another so quickly, and I got used to it. So I think I get bored with one thing and move to something else, and things get done. It's just when I stick with something for too long, I start to lose momentum. So I don't know. We all have ways we work. So here's another one, and I mentioned this, Harriet Salt. And I sent an order to the attic. And like I said, it was just a couple of months after I started stitching. And, you know, called them up and said, I want to do Harriet Salt. So you give me a choice of 46 and 56 count linen, because I might do one or I might do the other, and send me the reds that Jean would use. So I am using 103, $24.99 for most of it. And then I am doing on each line, I am doing the initials for a family member in a darker color, kind of personalizing it, and that's in 335. So I've got almost 3 lines done. So in the first line, my initials are highlighted. In the second line, no initials are highlighted. Why? Because I forgot. So now it's a design choice that every other line will be highlighted. And certainly there are enough lines. So, because I thought I'd do my initials, my husband's initials, and then my children's initials, and then we'll see where we're at. So here it is. This is what I've gotten done so far. This is a 56 count. I think it's Jersey cream, but I'm not sure. You can see the lighter color is Swasserfine. I think I said 103, it's Swasserfine. And the darker is 103 because I wanted it a little bolder. So Swasserfine, and I am using a beading needle, I think a 12 beading needle, might be a 10. Do I have it? Yeah, the beading needles are a little longer. There it is. Pretty sure it's a 12, but it could be a 10, and they'd fall all over the place. So Harriet Salt's in the contention, and what I should do is when I start to stitch, I should pull Harriet out and do a letter and then move to the project that I'm currently working on. And I've been thinking about that. A couple more. This one you saw, Margaret Anderson, and this is a teaching sampler from Hands Across the Sea. This is Margaret Anderson, 1830, Alas That Is Gone. And there are videos that go along with this, teaching you the stitches. And you have a certain time frame to watch the videos, so I've started working on this before my time to see the videos is up. So I do have some of that done. I think I showed this last time. Here are the, look at all the colors. So I'm doing that in DMC. And I don't know what she's on, and now my book of days is buried, so I can't look it up. We'll look at that another time. So, I don't even have a spot to lay this down. The stack of samplers I'll show you is like this. Do you mind a couple more? I've got one more to show you, and then 2 more I'm thinking of starting. So in May, I was so happy to be able to go to the Queen City Sampler Guild. They hosted Nicola Parkman for a class. Margaret Hutton. I know I've shown you that. And we do have the 103 silks. They're all in here. There's a purple in here, which is interesting. And I got, and this is on, I think 40 count Muddy Duck. I've got to start, and what you see at the top are my practice for whatever stitch we're learning, practice stitches, so got to start. So I need to pull that out too, so I don't forget the stitches. Because once you've worked on some stitches for a while, then they become part of what you're doing. And you you have that muscle memory. 3 more to show you. And these are things I'm thinking of starting. I know M wood for sure. That may be all I start, and I work on some of these others. I just don't know. But this is an exclusive with Shakespeare's Peddler and the Scarlet House, and you can still order it, except Teresa is moving. Teresa of Shakespeare's Peddler and Kitten Stitcher is moving, so I think her shop is closed right now. But when it opens back up, her web shop, you can order this. This is Mary Finley. And look at the, there's rabbits. I think they're rabbits in those trees. And there's only 10 colors, but it looks like so much more. And so I have decided, well, no, I haven't. I've pulled 2 colors of linen. Here's the Vickki Clayton Silk Pack. I've pulled, I think this is Flannel Flower. Yeah, 40 count Flannel Flower. And then I also have this by Fortnite Fabrics, 40 count Alfred. And they're just a little different than each other. I haven't decided on which to use yet. We'll have to throw, you know, the floss on it and see. I'm leaning toward that. So that might be a start. All this stuff's falling everywhere now. I did put a picture of the beginning so you could see the steps. So in the opening credits, opening segment, not credits, you can see that. Ann Johnson's another one I really would like to start, but she's a big one, so I don't know. This is an exclusive with Traditional Stitches. And last time I talked about what color. I think I'm going to do these, but here are the 103s. Don't have the linen pulled for that one, but that's a possibility for Sampler September. And the last one, and I only kind of remembered this because I was going through things to pull for FlossTube, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll start that. This is was a homespun needlework Facebook group. Exclusive. This is Rose Hill Farm by Stacy Nash. This is with Hobby House. So there that is. It may be offered at a later date. I don't know. But the linen it came with is, I'm not sure. Here's the colors. It's quite dark. I'm not sure if I'll change it. But I just love the berries, baskets, I love the house, I love the border. And it also came with, I'm gonna keep everything together. No, this was an exclusive with Acorns and Threads, pardon me. And Johnson was an exclusive with Traditional Stitches. I think I said Hobby House, that is not correct. This was Acorns and Threads, because there's a booklet and we have a little corner square. So those are the things that I'm thinking about for, yeah, there's the threads for that. Thinking about, for sure, I'm going to finish Sarah Melthrop. And I'm going to start M Woods. Beyond that, I'm not sure, but that's kind of my thought. So I'm going to pause the video. Actually, I'm going to stop it and then start it right back up because I'm going to have a surprise for you, but I need to grab it and it's over there. So I'll be right back. So what we've got is a surprise. And before I go to that, I want to check my notes, make sure I've talked about everything. No, I have not. There is a new sampler book coming out. It's on pre-order only right now. It's been in the works for 20 years. It's Tennessee samplers. And I'm going to put the link in the description so you can take a look at it. That's with University of Tennessee Press is who's putting that out. I have seen a couple samplers from it. Looks like it's going to be a good book. So that's coming out. And on the 13th of August, which was last Monday, there was a Tuesday talk at the DAR on the exhibit Sewn in America, which I didn't plan well. I signed up for it, and I had just gotten home the night before from being out of town, and I had to get the dog groomed, and I had to get groceries, and so I was watching the talk while I was doing all of those things. It was an excellent talk, and I did a quick search to see if the Tuesday talks are online anywhere, and I couldn't find it. If you know of a link, and there may not be one, but if there is a link to the Tuesday talks after they're shown, could you put it in the description and I'll share it with everybody? But it was excellent. I know they're doing a 2-day program coming up. So that's the Sewn in America exhibit. I've talked about the book, the catalog before, but it was a very interesting talk. I enjoyed it. And they do other Tuesday talks, which it's free to register for, which I've done a couple of them. Very interesting. And they're just on Zoom, and you aren't shown on Zoom. It's more the seminar where you're watching and you see them, but you don't see anyone else. So I enjoyed that very much. I did forget to show you those two things. Just checking my notes here. So this is what I've decided to do. I have just started going through some of my quilts, which I have many, many quilts. I have quilts from books that I've done, quilts from patterns, quilts from my lectures, quilts from all of my fabric lines, because anytime we did a fabric line, we did multiple quilts from that line to showcase the fabric line. And so I've pulled 3 smaller quilts, 2 runners and a small quilt, and I'm going to give those away. And so we're not going to give it away today. Hopefully we'll give it away. I'll tell you the process next time. Because what I've decided to do, I know many of you watch the videos and give me a thumbs up, which I appreciate so much, and many of you comment, which I love reading your comments. Thank you for that. It's just very interesting, and I think it feels like more of a connection when there's a comment. And I know not everyone can, because you're watching maybe on a TV or something, so it's hard to comment. And I understand that totally, but I do appreciate the comments. But right now, I am at about, I think, 6,100 subscribers, which thank you for that. I started this channel almost 2 years ago with just a few hundred subscribers. So I want to thank you for that. So this is what I've decided to do. Let me think how to phrase this. So when we get to, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. When we get to 6,500, which is really just 400, we'll give 1 quilt away. If we get to 7,000, we'll give the 2nd quilt away. And if we get to 7,500, we'll give the 3rd quilt away. So we'll see next time, and I'll probably be coming back in, it's probably gonna be more like 3 weeks. Probably 3 weeks. Might be 2.5, but probably around 3 weeks. So let's see where we are at 3 weeks. And I'm gonna show you the quilts. The first 2 are table runners. Now it's interesting because my quilts and my fabric lines were more traditional. They were based in traditional shapes, but more contemporary. So total opposite of what I stitch. So I guess both sides of my brain work there, but always with a nod toward the traditional. This one is more contemporary. This is from my gradated fabric line called Serendipity. This is a table runner, or could be a bed runner. You can see it's got shading. Oh, I need to stand up and show you this. How am I gonna do this? This is a long one. It's all quilted. Like I said, it could be a table runner. It also would be very pretty at the end of a bed. So this is the first quilt or runner we will give away. And I'll tell you next time how to put your name in the drawing for each quilt. Here's the second one. This is more neutral palette. This is one of my batik lines that I did called Java Jewels. So neutral color palette. Let's see if I can show you. This is the French braid design. So table runner could be at the end of a bed. Make a nice table runner. And then the third one is a smaller quilt. This is done with my batik line called Celtic Jewels, all with a nod toward my Scottish ancestry on, I think it was my dad's side, might be my mother's, I don't know, I'm starting to lose track because they both have kind of interwoven ancestors. That makes it sound like it's incestuous. It's not. I just mean they come from some of the same areas. Oh, I need a drink of coffee. So this is a variable star. Oh, I love this one. Look at this. This is going to be a hard one to let go. I'll take a picture of it so I don't forget it. But look at this. It's, I don't know, maybe 36 inches square. All batiks. And this is the color in the back. So this one is, they're all my fabric line, which are original designs. This quilt is based on a traditional with a nod to the contemporary. So next time we'll talk about how you can put your name into the drawing, but if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and we'll see where we're at next time to see if we're going to give 1 away, 2 away, or 3 away. And if you have friends that you think would enjoy getting in the drawing for one of these quilts, have them subscribe as well. So, because I do have quilting videos on the channel, you can hit the playlist. I don't know if I'll be doing more. I may. Right now I'm so covered up with trying to get through my parents' stuff. Once I get through their boxes and finish decluttering the house and cleaning things out, which is progressing, it's progressing, but I need to get those things kind of out of the way first. So then I might think about doing some more quilting videos. I haven't decided yet, but anyway, these are the quilts. So we're looking for how many subscribers we'll have by the next video. More neutral palette and a beautiful contemporary design. This is a long one, so it's a really good table runner or bed runner, which sometimes I like to lay a quilt on the end of the bed, especially if it's a more plain bedspread, and just lay it on there. It just gives a little lift to the design or give some color. Especially if you have a white duvet. A lot of times in the summer, we'll just have a white duvet, white sheets, and that little bit of color. So this is a good bed runner for that summer palette. All right, I think we're done. I have enjoyed showing you this. I hope it hasn't been too much. This is a longer one, but we are coming up to Sampler September, so there's lots to share. And in the next video, I guess I'll be into Sampler September. Hopefully I'll have Sarah Milthrop done. I'll be started M. Wood and have decided, hopefully, what I'm going to be working on the rest of September. So until next time, I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the video today, and I wish you happy stitching until next time. Bye, everybody.